Mother Righteous continues to grow her religious crusade across the Sinister era. But will she be able to keep all these different clones of Nightcrawler under her control, or are they only just a few moments away from their own revelation? Let's hop into the pages of Nightcrawlers issue number 2 and find out together, shall we? So then, as we join the book, we actually jump a full 90-odd years into the future of this dark, twisted Sins of Sinister timeline. How is Mother Righteous, who is revealed to be the 4th clone of Nathaniel Essex, doing? Well, basically doing exactly what she was doing when we last left her. She had created her own personal holy army of Nightkin, basically known as the clones of Nightcrawler, and was using them to scour the Marvel Universe trying to gather the most powerful magic items for her ever-growing collection. Maybe to try and destroy the other Sinister clones like Stellaris, maybe just because she really wants those items. Again, it's kind of hard to tell. Her motivations are a little bit purposely obfuscated at the moment. The Nightkin's holy war actually takes them to the halls of Asgard, where Thor and all of his space Viking buddies have been hiding out since the fall of the Avengers and the takeover of Earth by the mutants of Krakoa. I actually dig that we're 90 years in the future, and yet Thor and all of these other characters are wearing their most classic costumes. I mean, I guess it's hard to do laundry in the Sins of Sinister age. It's not just Mother Righteous getting all intergalactic these days either. It seems that the Quiet Council of Sinister had actually left Earth behind a long time ago, getting more proactive in attacking their enemies in the galactic community. Hell, Otherworld with Doctor Strange and a bunch of the other magical heroes has fallen. Now Asgard's fallen. It seems that the Empire of the Red Diamond just grows and grows more every single day. That's not to say everything is perfect though within Mother Righteous's little holy family. The cracks are beginning to form in her own twisted version of the mutant spark religion. As we see through the eyes of Vox Igneus, a lot of these different Night King are actually beginning to question Mother Righteous's leadership and their role in the greater universe. This all came about just recently too, because as we discover, these Night King clones of Nightcrawler actually were all sterilized by Mr. Sinister and were never meant to actually have children. But despite all of this, one of them, the Wolverine one, actually managed to give birth to a baby not that long ago. Obviously, all the Night King took this to be a miracle, you know, a sign from on high that they were on the right path and that Mother Righteous would continue to deliver them, much like how she delivered them from Mr. Sinister's control. Here's the problem though, the baby didn't stick around forever. That's not to say the baby died, only that the kid's bamfing power activated almost as soon as it was born, meaning that the kid was gone and no one knows where. No doubt all of this being some sort of cruel genetic joke played by Sinister. One that actually has an even darker undercurrent too. You see, apparently even though Vox Igneus was able to use his voice to save all the Nightkin from Sinister's control, apparently they can actually get traumatized so badly, like losing a child, that Mr. Sinister's control actually ends up seeping in again. It's because of this, the father of the missing kid vowed to undertake one last glorious suicide mission in the name of Mother Righteous, who honestly could really care less right now. She's too busy with her spells and collecting more magic items. In fact, it's becoming painfully obvious to everyone here in Mother Righteous's little group that they're actually in a cult now, and cults are, well, never good for anybody. Hell, the grieving mother and de facto leader of the Nightkin actually demands that Vox Igneus give her a one-on-one audience with Legion, who is still very much around in this dark, sinister timeline. Though admittedly not for much longer. It seems that David tried to shelter as many people as he could in the astral plane once things started going sideways with Mr. Sinister, but now he figures that this world is such a loss, and that Mr. Sinister has twisted and corrupted the very idea of mutanthood so much that Legion opts to basically just ascend to a higher level of being and leave this world behind. Yeah, you heard me right. Things are so bad here. Legion, one of the most powerful beings in the entire Marvel universe, basically just said, "Peace, I'm rapturing out." Now, you might also be wondering too, what became of the Earth itself in this 90-year future? Well, after Mr. Sinister was ultimately deposed by his own sinister Quiet Council, Earth itself was slowly just left to rot before eventually getting decimated by an annihilation wave, which the Quiet Council pretty much already predicted was going to happen, so none of them were actually on the planet when the shit hit the fan. Still, the Wolverine, Nightkin, and Vox Igneus decide to brave the irradiated wasteland to once again try and hit up the old X-Mansion. I'd actually forgotten to mention this in the previous video, but Nightcrawler Kirk Wagner is actually still very much alive. In fact, he's being watched over by Dr. Nemesis. Unfortunately, Unfortunately, so much time has gone by, his demonic corruption has actually ended up fully overtaking him, turning him into a giant monster. In fact, Nemesis isn't doing much better either, as his brain mushrooms have basically taken over the entire X-Mansion basement. This actually leads to a very funny scene wherein the Night King have to cut him down so they can bring him back to Mother Righteous's spaceship, but because that was his brain, he now talk in broken sentence because him dumb now. Night King Wolverine thinks that somewhere in Dr. Nemesis's research is the opportunity to prolong their life and keep their race going, even though they can't seem to actively procreate anymore. Again, Mother Righteous just seems really uninterested in the plight of her followers, saying, geez, isn't it enough that I made your dead kid part of the brand new Spark creation myth? I called them the Sinless Child, and that they were meant to be honored and revered, and yet here you are going behind my back getting Dr. Nemesis when I explicitly told you to wage more war and get me more magic items? Obviously, this leads to a bit of an impasse between Mother Righteous and her followers, ones that only gets a lot more hairy when the Night King decide to release Demon Kurt on her. Obviously, what little of the original Nightcrawler still exists inside this demon beast now is pretty pissed off that Mother Righteous basically perverted everything that he was trying to do with the Spark and turn it into a giant warmongering cult. But sadly though, not even a fully grown Demon Kurt is enough to defeat Mother Righteous. Don't feel too bad though, this isn't actually the end of the story. As you see, Night King Wolverine was able to touch Righteous in the fight, and in doing so was actually given one hell of a religious revelation. You see, her baby, her husband, they're not gone. At least not in the way Mother Righteous seemed to make it out like they were. Oh no, she willingly disappeared them. Which means as the comic comes to an end, Night King Wolverine now has a new spark within her, a spark for bloody revenge on the woman who wronged her and her people. And so that was Nightcrawlers issue number 2, everybody, and once again, Sins of Sinister actually proves to be very fertile ground for telling interesting out there stories involving the X-Men characters. Spurrier especially uses this opportunity to tell a pretty dour and sad little story about people slowly but surely beginning to realize that the only life they've ever known has actually just been a cult. Hats off to him and the art team for actually infusing all the different Nightkin with their own unique personalities and names and quirks. It would have been really easy for these clones to, well, feel like interchangeable clones, but they don't. At the center of it, too, there's a lot of great work being done with Vox Igneus, who is obviously a character that Spurrier will be continuing to write when this story is done. This dude's basically had a whole 100 years working as Mother Righteous's own personal right-hand man, and only now is he beginning to feel a little conflicted about whether or not she's good. I mean, maybe the man formerly known as Sean Cassidy is a little slow on the draw here. Maybe he's just really loving the power that she's given him. Or maybe she's just that good a cult leader. Personally, I like the idea that Mother Righteous's evil is so unique and different from all the other Sinister clones, mainly because it's so hands-off. If original Recipe Nathaniel Essex loved to be in everyone's business and have his fingers in a lot of pies, Mother Righteous just kind of kills you with her own savage, cold indifference. Hell, it wasn't even her idea to free the Nightkin in the first place. That's just something she kind of fell ass backwards into because of Vox Igneus. I hope the rest of these Sins of Sinister stories continue to have a lot of cool stuff to chew on and a lot of stuff to think about. If so, I think we're going to be in for a good event. Overall, I'd give this one a very positive 8 out of 10.
Hey there, everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again, thanking you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out my Amazon link down in the description. Yes, that's right, the Cape Joel channel officially has its own Amazon storefront now. You can pick up a comic or anything else for that matter, and if you did, you'd really be helping me in the channel. So with that out of the way, everyone, I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.